Hi there, I'm Erin with 5 Parks Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today's class is going to be a short and sweet spine strengthening and stretching class. Thank you to all of my YouTube subscribers and members and my Patreon supporters. I very much appreciate your support of 5 Parks Yoga. All right, so we'll start today in a seated position. You can bring your hands onto your knees, either face up or face down, and we'll start with just stretching the spine in all directions. So if you'd like to close your eyes, we're just going to start with a short breathing practice. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Close your lips. Breathe in through your nose, hold it. Breathe out through your nose. And complete 3 more rounds of inhales and exhales through your nose, making your breath slightly audible by constricting the back of your throat and gradually lengthening your inhales and your exhales, controlling your breath as it goes in and out through your nose. So complete your exhale here. If your palms are face up, go ahead and face them down. Take a nice firm grip on your knees, and we're gonna do a short round of camel rides. So for camel rides, you're gonna keep your sitting bones grounded on the floor. You're going to stretch your chest forward, slightly lift your chin, so you have a slight arch in your spine, your upper back, and then you're gonna come back and you're gonna round your spine. So you're stretching between your shoulder blades, your chin is gonna come toward your chest. And then come back, stretch your chest open, shoulders back, chin lifted, and then round back. And again, and we're gonna start picking up the pace. Breathing through your nose and increase it a little bit more. I guess you're supposed to imagine yourself riding a camel. Never done that myself. I'm sure some of you out there have. I'd like to, but I'm not quite sure if it feels like this. So we're just gonna keep going. A couple more backs and forths. Should be creating some heat in your core and your breath. I know I am. For 3 and 2 and 1. Come back to neutral. All right, breathe in, lift your arms up overhead. Breathe out, come off to your left. Reach your right arm up and over. We're getting a side bend here. Just picture your spine in a nice C curve. Come back to center, nice straight line here. Come off to the right. Reach your left arm up and over. Just visualize your spinal cord in a nice C curve. Come back to center. Now we're gonna twist. So you're gonna keep your spine straight up and down. Bring your right hand to your left knee, and you're just gonna twist from the base of your spine all the way to the crown of your head. So you're not leaning in one direction. Breathe in and bring your arms back to center, and you're gonna switch sides. So bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand out behind. Just twisting from the base of your spine through the crown of your head. Come back to center, lift both arms up overhead, and then release your hands down onto your mat and make your way to a tabletop position, continuing to warm up the spine with your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Breathe in, drop your belly for cow pose. Lift your chin and tailbone. Breathe out, round your spine for cat pose. Do these movements feel familiar? It's similar to the movements we did, we keep going, in our camel ride. And we're doing 1 more round. So taking a cow and a cat. And then you're gonna come back to tabletop and we're gonna take spinal balance. So spine strengthening. So extend your right arm forward and your left leg back. Right bicep by right ear, your hips are level, pressing back through the ball of your foot. Okay, so you're building strength in the back side of your body. Now we're gonna build flexibility. So bend your left leg, reach your right hand around, take hold of your left foot. Now start to press your foot into your hand as you lift through the crown of your head. Again, visualize your spine in a nice arch here. And we're going to return to spinal balance. So we're taking this with control. Right arm forward, left leg back, and then return to tabletop position and switch sides. Extend your left arm forward and your right leg back. One long line, your gaze is at the floor. Your hips are level. You're active through your fingertips, pressing through the ball of your foot. Building strength in the back side of your body. Now you're going to build some flexibility here. Bend your right leg. Take your left hand, reach around for your right foot. Now kick your foot into your hand as you begin to lift your chin off of your chest, looking forward or maybe averting your eyes upward. Kicking actively with your right foot. And then we're gonna return to spinal balance. Left arm forward, right leg back, and to tabletop position. All right, and we're gonna make our way into heart melting pose. Nice stretch for your back. So bring your hands wide to the corners of your mat. Bring your chest toward the floor, your chin toward the floor, and your forehead toward the floor. Breathe in and out. All right, release your bring your hands so they're in line with your shoulders. Just shimmy them in. Bring your forearms to the floor and make your way to sphinx pose. So you're just gonna bring your hips and your belly toward the floor, but you're gonna take your shoulders over your elbows. So your arms are at 90 degrees. Lift through the crown of your head. So this is a nice, gentle back bend. Doesn't feel gentle to you, that's okay. Just making our way toward more flexibility in the back of our body. Okay, and if you want to take it up a level, a little bit more of a bend, you're going to take your hands and you're going to pinch your fingers, take them to the outer edges of your mat, so off of your mat, and then press up. Okay, so just a bigger back bend here. Your arms are just a little bit bent. Okay, so you don't want to lock out your elbows and dump weight into your arms. So you're using some arm strength here as well to keep your torso and your chest lifted off of your mat. All right, now whether you're in sphinx or in this high cobra variation, either way, you're going to, well, if you're in high cobra, you're just going to lower down a little bit, but keep your chest up off the floor. All of you keep your chest up off the floor. Now extend your arms back, palms face down, arms are long, and now lift your legs off the floor. All right, so we're building spine strength here, spinal strength. So really actively press back through the balls of your feet, press back through your fingertips, lift a little bit higher. Okay. Now we're going to move into upward bow pose. So building some flexibility, you're going to bend both legs. Your hands are already back there. See if you can reach toward your feet. Take hold of your feet from the outside. Bring your knees so they're in line with your hips. Now kick your feet into your hands. Similar how we did in swan pose. So let that kick really deepen the back bend. You lift your feet and your hands a little bit higher. Okay, now we're going to counter pose our upward bow. So go ahead and release your thighs down to your mat. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, bring your toes to touch, and make your way to extended child's pose. Great counter pose for that back bend. You can release your forehead down onto your mat. Take one full breath here. Okay, now make your way back onto your stomach. Keep your hands where they are. Bring your shoulders right over your hands. Extend your legs long behind you in line with your hips. Press into the tops of your feet and then lift into low cobra. Okay, so low cobra here, you've got a little bit of weight on your hands, but not much. Are you using the muscles in your back to keep your chest lifted? Well, let's find out. So from here, see if you can keep your chest as high as it is, engage everything, and lift your hands up off of your mat. Okay, place your hands back on your mat, lower down, tuck your toes under. You can press up through tabletop or high plank, and let's come back to downward facing dog. Nice spine lengthener. All right, so hold downward facing dog with no tension in your neck. Your head is heavy. Your heels are reaching down to the floor as your hips lift a little bit higher. So just picture yourself in a nice upside down triangle, or I guess it's just a triangle shape from the side. One more breath. Now, what you're going to do from here is you're going to ripple forward to a high cobra position. So you're going to start by lifting your heels, then rolling one vertebra at a time through high plank, roll onto the tops of your feet, press up to high cobra so your hands are underneath your shoulders, and then tuck your toes under, press back, downward facing dog. Let's do that 2 more times. So lift your heels high, ripple forward. Press back, downward facing dog, and this is your last time. Lift your heels high, ripple forward, high cobra, and downward facing dog. Make your way onto your shins. Going to take a pretty deep back bend here called camel pose. Ooh, camel theme here. All right, so camel pose. Take your hands to your low back, fingers face down. Draw your elbows back. Lift your chin up off of your chest. Press your hips slightly forward. You can stay here, or you can reach one hand at a time towards your heels and then release your head back, nice and slow and gentle. Continue to press your hips forward. Okay, your hands are not all ready. Place them on your low back. Make your way all the way up to center. Release your hips to your heels. Rest your hands on your thighs. Feel the energy buzzing around in your heart center, maybe up in your head. Slow down your breath. You know, my heart starts to beat a little bit harder in camel pose. It's a really good energetic release for your heart center. Now we're going to reverse this and we're going to take rabbit pose. So nice back bend again. Now we're going forward. All right, so take your hands toward your heels. Even if you can't reach them right now, just take them in that direction. Now roll your shoulders forward, roll down. You're going to place the crown of your head, the very top of your head, on the floor. So your chin is tucked in. Now lift your hips up. So you're working toward getting your hips over your knees as you grip your heels. There's not a lot of weight in the top of your head. Be gentle. Okay, so your head is on the floor, but it's not dumping the weight. It's not holding the weight. Can you bring your hips a little bit closer over your knees? So you're working the pose. You're not just hanging out here, working the pose. Nice big stretch. It's a big energetic release for heart center. It's just coming toward the back side of your body. All right, now roll down. Bring your hips onto your heels. Come all the way up to seated. Cross over your ankles. And make your way to a seated position with your feet flat on the floor, in line with your hips. We're going to take reverse tabletop, so another spine strengthener. Take your hands underneath your shoulders with your fingers facing the front of your mat. Then you're just gonna roll your shoulders back and then lift your hips up. So if you could picture yourself from the side, you are like a box. So your torso is flat, knees in line with hips, in line with shoulders. So see if you can lift high enough. If you can't, that's fine. You're just working that direction. So you're using your strength to work in that direction. All right, now you're gonna release your hips down onto the floor. Extend your legs straight. Bring your shoulders over your hips. Reach your arms up. Give your hands a shake. It's a little bit of weight on the wrists, so you kind of want to roll them out, and then forward fold over your legs. So again, building flexibility here in the back side of the body. So if you can keep your spine straight, your head will be over your shoulders will be in line with your hips the entire time. So you're not rounding forward, you're extending forward. So yes, you are going to feel a stretch in the backs of your legs, but also along the back side of your body, along the length of your spine. Now release from your forward fold. We're gonna make our way onto our back in preparation for bridge and wheel, two very big back bends. So bring your feet in line with your knees and hips and then roll down. We're gonna take bridge first. So bring your heels toward your hips. Lift your hips up off of the floor. You can have your palms pressing into the floor, or you can interlace your fingers underneath your hips, roll onto one shoulder at a time, and lift your hips a little bit higher. Okay, that's just an option. One option is not better than the other, it doesn't matter. Okay, now we're just going to experiment here. If you can, bring your right foot to hover up off of the floor. You can hold here, or you can extend your leg straight, but your two thighs are in line with each other, pressing through the ball of your foot. Now maybe you want to bring the sole of your foot up toward the ceiling. And then we'll meet back in bridge, both feet on the floor. And let's try that on the other side. So bring your left foot to hover. You can hang out here, or you can extend your legs so your two thighs are in one line together. Press through the ball of your foot. Or you can bring the sole of your foot up so it's like stamping on the ceiling. Bring your left foot back onto your mat. If you're in a chest expansion, release, and then roll down onto your back. Let your knees touch one another. Take a deep breath here. All right, moving into wheel. Big chest opener. All right, if wheel's not in your practice, don't worry. Take bridge again. If you want to try wheel, go ahead and flip your hands so the palms of your hands are next to your ears. Press into the balls of your feet so your legs are still bent. You can come up onto the crown of your head gently first if you'd like, gently. And then if you can, straighten your arms and come into full wheel. Hold here. When you're ready, release onto the crown of your head gently, all the way down onto your back. Maybe give your hands a little shake. Let your knees rest toward one another. And go ahead and bring your knees to a 90-degree, or your legs to a 90-degree angle. Bring your arms to a goalpost. Bring your knees to the right. Rest them down on the floor. Look to the left. Maybe bring your right hand on top of your left knee. Bring your knees back to center and off to the left. Look to the right. Place your knees on the floor. Maybe take your left hand on top of your right knee if that feels good. Bring your knees back to center. Bring your hands around your knees, squeeze your knees into your chest. Maybe bring your forehead toward your knees so you're in a little ball. And release. Our next posture is Savasana. Extend your legs long, let your feet fall open. Extend your arms long, let your palms face up toward the ceiling. Let's close with a breath together. Breathe in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Back to the natural rhythm of your breath. And just let your body be very, very heavy. Feel the weight of your body resting into your mat, on the floor. If you have the time, remain in Savasana as long as you can. Otherwise, when you're ready, you can roll off to your side and press your way up to a seated position. All right, let's close together. Bring your hands to your hearts. Breathe in through your nose. Let it go through your mouth. Close your lips. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.